You please stand and join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, first up, we have the consent agenda. It was provided in your packets.
Second, okay.
Motion by Belt, second by Jorgensen to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, first up, we have a public hearing on the amendment to the current county budget for fiscal year 2024/25 and to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 58-2024.
Make a motion to open public hearing.
A second.
Call roll, please.
Chairman Miller,
Aye.
Supervisors Wickman.
Aye.
Mill. Shea.
Aye.
Jorgensen.
Aye.
We are now in public hearing. And at this time, we will hear from anybody from the public who'd like to speak with regard to the amendment to the current county budget. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either for or against the changes to the budget? Is there anyone in Teams that would like to be brought into the discussion? No hands raised, no activity.
Close public hearing.
Second,
Motion by Belt, second by Shea to close the public hearing. Melvin, will you call the roll, please?
Chairman Miller,
Aye.
Supervisors Jorgensen.
Aye.
Shea.
Aye.
Mill.
Aye.
Wickman.
Aye.
Before us, we have resolution number 58-2024. Becky, is there anything you'd like to speak to with regard to this?
I think we covered it when we set the date and time for the hearing. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to try and answer them.
So move. Second.
Motion by Wickman, second by Belt to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 58-2024, a resolution to approve the county's amendment to our current budget.
We shouldn't need one for a while, should we?
Mhm.
We shouldn't need another amendment for a while. Pardon?
Probably next spring,
Yeah,
April,
okay.
May at the latest. Chairman Miller,
Aye.
Supervisors Jorgensen.
Aye.
Wickman.
Right.
Shea.
Aye.
Mill.
Aye.
Motion carried. Becky, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
work on that.
Is she here today, Becky?
She is in Des Moines at an ISAC.
Oh, she went to that?
Leadership training.
She went to that. Shucks. I wanted to go. I was on Thursday.
Oh.
I'd been over there by myself.
All right, next up, recognition of Penny Ravlin's dedicated service and retirement. I would like to read Penny's letter of resignation that was submitted to the board on July 1st, 2024. This letter serves as official notification of my intention to retire from Pottawatomie County Assessor's Office. My final day will be September 30th, 2024. The Assessor's Office has been the main chapter of my story for over 35 years. But in every story, there comes a time to finalize a chapter. It is a long one, and begin a new one. I have valued and grown in every position I've held in the assessor's office, from clerk, appraiser, deputy assessor to assessor. I have watched this office evolve, and thanks to the efforts of both past employees and current ones, it sits in great shape to continue serving the citizens of our county. I leave with an immense appreciation for all those who have played roles in my story and who believed in me. I'm confident the assessor's office will continue to do great things and serve at the highest level possible. Sincerely, Penny Ravlin. And per the Iowa Code and the requirements for selecting a new county assessor, the Conference Board? The Assessors Conference Board met last Wednesday, September 18th, and following the recommendations of the committee who did the interviewing, we all approved Joe Casson to be the new county assessor, pending verification by the State Department. So we are still waiting on, we haven't heard that confirmation yet, have we? Okay, but that request was submitted on September 19th. So as Penny's letter dictates, she has left the office in good hands, and I'd like to call Penny forward and let's,
We
I'll-
have the board come down to the call.
yes. And Janet looks like she's got her camera ready. My- yeah.
Cross trade there. Congratulations.
Now you can watch cartoons on this.
Talk
about Joe with the camera right behind him.
Yeah.
Already told me to stand.
Yeah, right.
Right here?
Right.
Right here?
There we go.
Penny, on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, with this, thank you for your service and commitment to the people of Potawatomi County.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And Susan read me speech.
So,
I appreciate everything. I've been blessed with amazing people to
Thanks for
work
your
with.
work.
I've been blessed with a great county and I look forward to the future and I miss you. Thank you.
Best wishes.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where do we get those coins?
They've also got them.
Oh,
Thank you for everybody from the assessor's office and from the county agent for this morning.
I've talked to other auditors and assessors around the state. And historically, we've always, the auditor's office, assessor's office, here always go along very well. In other counties, that doesn't happen. Penny's always been a good one to work with. Whether it's me or Jim O'Neill or others, who is Bill Keeley, yeah. But we've always had a good relationship. In the office and assessor office.
Joe, you got, oh, you left. That didn't take it long.
Gotta get back to work and get back and change Penny's assessment.
Careful, Scott.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
All right.
Makes you bounce.
Next up, and the script doesn't match. Next up is Doug Reed, Director, Emergency Management Agency, discussion and or decision to approve and sign proclamation designating the month as National Preparedness Month. And I'd like to read the proclamation. Yeah, it's not in the script, but it's on the agenda is next. And we'll need a roll call vote for this one. Proclamation National Preparedness Month, September 2024. Whereas the spring and summer of 2024 has reminded us that no one can predict when or where the next disaster will occur. And whereas Potawatomi County is vulnerable to natural, technological, okay, we'll move on, and man-made hazards. And whereas government agencies and disaster organizations cannot bear the sole responsibility to prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters. And whereas emergency preparedness is the responsibility of every resident in Potawatomi County, and all residents are urged to make preparedness a priority and work together as a team to ensure that individuals, families, and communities are prepared for disasters and emergencies of any time. And whereas Potawatomi County Emergency Management, an organization that works to coordinate and integrate all activities necessary to build, sustain, and improve our collective resiliency to disasters and emergencies, encourages households to create a family disaster plan during National Preparedness Month to ensure everyone is ready for the next emergency or disaster. Now therefore, be it resolved that we, the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2024 to be National Preparedness Month in Potawatomi County, Iowa, and urges all residents to become better prepared in the event of a disaster and encourages attendance to the 2024 Potawatomi County Preparedness Fair to be conducted on Thursday, September 26, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Potawatomi County Emergency Operations Center. Signed this 24th day of September 2024 in Potawatomi County, Iowa. All right, I will accept a motion to
So-
approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All right,
Hot dogs and hamburgers.
Melvin, will you call the roll, please?
Chairman Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Shea,
Aye.
Jorgensen.
Aye.
Wickman.
Aye.
And Bell.
Thank you very much, Doug. Or anything you'd like to say?
No, appreciate your ongoing support that everything that's going on this year. Just remind everybody we do have that preparedness fair on Thursday, so we're growing a little bit every year, so be down at the emergency operations center. So hopefully I'll see what we do there. We're also going to make available a crew from FEMA's disaster survivor assistance team. We've also got on board here within the last week, contractor to come in and assist individuals with their disaster case management. Kind of help them through the process. For those who are trying to navigate the very large alphabet soup that they have to go through to get some assistance. So we'll have some resources down there to help people as well as have some expense goods and things like that. So it'll be a good time. I'd like to invite each of you coming. Like Scott said, there'll be some hamburgers and hot dogs. They charge you double, so that would be good on that end. And
Taking it out of your mind.
outside of that, come Monday, we'll be starting a new program that was we just finalized in a meeting yesterday. There are 3 counties that have been selected in the state to host a new initiative that we're trying out called the Long-Term Disaster Recovery Center. And Potawatomi County is going to be kind of the initial and beta program for that. So similar to what FEMA does in their disaster recovery centers, this is state managed. They're locally executed. So we'll be setting up and managing starting Monday for the public, a crew of a couple disaster case managers and advocates, a couple folks from FEMA's individual assistance team and somebody from the SBA, when they get a person reassigned to our county. So we'll maybe pay some assistance to anybody going through the recovery process that just needs some help navigating or kind of fine tuning their disaster recovery plan. So that'll operate probably starting Monday, tentatively through the end of the calendar year. And it will be down at the Emergency Operations Center. So more information or press release to come on it, hopefully today.
Hey Doug, is that, is it Rana? From the Homeland Security? I got an email from this Rana Scarlett
Oh, I thought,
today. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's something completely different.
okay.
I forwarded
That's
that
on.
Doug and.
Category B, request for.
Yeah, emergency protective measures, if there were, this program that you're looking at would probably be a little more applicable possibly to Minden, just because the amount of houses that were destroyed there, but certainly could apply in the county too. So I know the assessor's office, Melvin's office forwarded it to me because they got it. I sent it on to Matt over at planning as well. So reply back that he's received it as well. So
Okay.
it's an option should there be something, but that program is unique, a little bit difficult to navigate through sometimes because, it's about public sector acquiring private property for
Yeah.
condemnation.
Okay,
Probably will apply on the county side of things, but information's out there for all the appropriate departments nonetheless.
okay, thank you.
Yep, any other questions for me?
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, Beth.
See you on Thursday.
My paperwork.
It's in the box.
Security cameras for an election.
Wow.
Taped over to your office.
Oh, okay, didn't know we got any. Any
Thank you.
security?
Yeah. Thank you.
I got,
All right, next up, Brandon Burmeister, Assistant Engineer, and John Rasmussen, County Engineer, discussion and or decision to approve and authorize chairperson to sign contract with Husker Steel, Inc. in the amount of $14,788.80 for miscellaneous bridge materials.
So moved.
second,
Motion by Wickman, a second by Jorgensen. Anything you want to add about this or explain?
On the bid letting we had, got the signed contracts back from the suppliers.
After we totaled those up, we were about, what, 60,000, that we were better to, based on your estimates. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think we're underestimating all those, but
Right.
total cost was close to 200,
Yeah, but
2 and a quarter.
I think it's on my desk, so, yeah, thanks.
Right. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next up, approve. Brandon Burmeister and John Rasmussen, discussion and or decision to approve and authorize chairperson to sign contracts with Husker Steel, Inc. in the amount of $59,790 for bridge beams.
So moved. Second.
By Wickman, second by Belt. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Next, approve and authorize chairperson to sign contract with Odin Enterprises, Inc. in the amount of $69,159.32 for bridge piling.
So moved.
second,
Motion by Wickman, second by Shay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Motion is carried. And then the fourth one, approve and authorize chairperson to sign contract with Wheeler Lumber in the amount of $103,965.80 for bridge deck materials.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Wickman, second by Belt to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Aye. Opposed? Motion has carried.
You don't know what's going on College View and McPherson out there. They're closing it for a month.
Black Hills Energy,
Black Hills Energy,
they're running the line. Why?
way out to the airport or something?
Sorry,
Is that all the way to the airport or something?
I don't know, it's clear. But it stops at, is it the airplane? It's not there, it's not that.
Oh. Usually you don't see things closed for a whole month. It leads right into the county. Pretty close. I think they'll be in the county. They probably come and got, right away something for the county, yes.
There's a lot going on out there right now with the fiber and the gas. and everything.
Yeah. Pipes for that building up there at Highway 6.
I don't know if they're going under the interstate yet.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a busy spot there. Makes people go a long way around.
Yeah.
Did on the agenda for a study section.
No,
Oh,
want to, we could.
All right, next up, we have Candy Hire, epidemiologist, public health. Update on the substance abuse prevention grant and approval of signature authority for grant activities.
Good morning.
morning.
Back in April, Maria came before the board for signature authority for the DHHS Substance Abuse Prevention Grant. We were able to be awarded that grant and we're making progress on the proposed activities. Part of this grant, however, requires subcontracts for any money that is spent externally. So what we also submitted was the subcontract with Sandow. So any of the promotional things that we put out for the substance abuse prevention grant will be covered by Sandow, and a forthcoming social media contract
proposed to be Snapchat or another platform that reaches the youth. Both of these agreements, however, will need signed, and we're seeking authority of the board for Maria to be able to sign those. This one for Sandow, as well as the forthcoming one with the social media company. So this will just be part of the budget. About half is going to the salary for the staff that's working on these activities, and a little more than half is going to these outreach activities for promotion.
Oh, it's only $4,200
Yes, and then
strictly for advertising.
yes, for billboards and or bus benches, depending on the messages we choose.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Sorry.
Candy, I noticed in here, all the school districts are, in this grant, except for Council Bluffs. How come?
Underwood's not in it either.
Oh, that's
So-
true. I missed Underwood.
Council Bluffs predominantly, we had established relationships with a few school districts because of our health educator who works on that personal responsibility education program. So we're building off of those existing relationships, and we chose 3 that we feel will not have to jump through as many hoops through the district to get approved. We're starting with these 6, but we will build. This is the ongoing grant that we can apply for each fiscal year. So we started with these 3 additional to what we already have good relationships with, just as a benchmark, and then we can work towards. But a lot of the Council Bluffs schools for that program that we work on are through a different agency. We do not go to the Council Bluffs schools for that because they had an existing contract. So we'll just have to work through some of those hurdles of making those connections and then getting it approved through which schools, if it'll be all the high schools, middle schools, and going that way.
This would be advertising predominantly is in Council Bluffs. Right. You know,
Bus benches.
are we doing anything in the other?
That'll be the social media. So we can geofence that. We can put it based on zip code. So we can add those additional zip codes for the social media. That has not been developed as a contract yet. Maria was still working on that. But that will be the additional $1,200 of that part of the budget that is going towards the outreach and promotional materials.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So did you guys put this out for bid then?
We already have a relationship with Sandow. I can look into that and get back to you if there have been additional bids for a different price but we have used the bus benches and billboards through Sandow for other promotional things in the past.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Make a
Candy.
motion to approve. I'll second.
Oh, we've already got a
Right,
motion
did that.
by,
Oh, I'm sorry.
motion by Belton, a second by Shay to approve. To allow Maria Seek to sign the grant activities documentation.
And then they're gonna come back with another one, right?
This, hopefully, if we could get it approved to just these 2 contracts and any grant activities, if she can have signature authority. If you want us to come back with that one as well, we can submit it.
It's not, there's only one in our packet, right?
As far as the finalized subcontract, yes. I think she was just hoping for signature authority for the grant activities, but if we need to come back with the other subcontract when it is,
How much is the other one?
it'll be approximately 1,200 or less.
That's in addition to the 4,200?
Yes, in the budget for this grant, we have the $5,400 set aside for the outreach and subcontracts. Only 4,600 of the 10,000 is for salary.
Okay, so should I amend my motion to include allowing Maria to sign both those?
I think it's fair to ask Candy to come back for that. I mean, it's grant funds. It's,
Well, it's only $1,200, so I wasn't.
oh, you can do whatever you
Well,
want.
I didn't know
I'll go with you either way.
what the board wanted to do, so.
Chairman's
We-
prerogative.
We kind of like to see Candy pop in and,
Sure.
so,
Give us a shot.
yeah.
Like to be up to date.
Call for the vote.
All right. A motion by Belton, a second by Shay to approve and allow Maria Seek to sign the grant activities documents. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thanks, Candy.
Candy, thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
Moving to Dr. Elliott, medical examiner, discussion and or decision to approve Cody Payne as director, medical examiner, investigator at $85,000.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Belt, second by Jorgensen.
Do you have anything you need to add to that, Jana?
No, other than, would you like his contract, then we'll go on next week's agenda?
Yes.
And then according to Iowa code, the appointment has to be approved by the Board of Supervisors and also the state medical examiner.
I'll talk to Dr. Elliott about that.
I believe Dr. Elliott's position does. I'm not sure this.
That's right, because Dr. Elliott is the medical examiner, and I think that's what has to get approved by the state.
I had my book out this morning and I think it fell into that category.
We can discuss it. Well, we can discuss it when he gets here for a study session.
Yes, that would be great.
Can we, have his, job description brought in next week before we approve the contract?
Sure. Do you want it as an approval on the board's agenda, or would you just like to view it?
I'd like to have a discussion and decision on it.
Is that something you'd like to discuss in today's study session?
If we can, I would.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion by Belt and a second by Jorgensen to approve the appointment of Cody Payne as Director, Medical Examiner, Investigator. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion has carried. All right, moving to Jana Limerick, Director, Human Resources, and Becky Lenahan, Tax and Finance Officer, Auditor's Office. Discussion and or decision to approve updated employee recognition miscellaneous expenditures policy. Morning. Good morning. The policy committee met last Tuesday afternoon and reviewed these two particular policies, or this policy, at the recommendation of the auditor's office, correct?
Correct. The purpose of this policy came about back in 2014. Per the state auditors, I think we had purchased flowers or something for a funeral or something, and they wanted a policy. So a few people got together real quick and threw this together. And I've been after them to, let's get this cleaned up and a little bit more professional with requirements, and that the old one was rather loose and not up to our guidelines for state and federal. So we've done some changes and I think it looks much better than.
Yeah, we didn't make very many changes, but the changes that we did make in policy and purpose, we really are calling out that the cost of these are to be paid out of the Board of Supervisors gaming fund budget. Now, there could be some exceptions when it comes to roads, but Tina and John have that all taken care of depending on how that comes out of their budget. Number two, we are asking the board to increase the retirement benefit. So the county shall provide a one-time retirement gratuity for long-term county employees who serve a minimum of 10 years of service upon retirement. This benefit will be $50 for every year of service with Pottawatomie County, which will be added to their final paycheck. It was $10 per years of service. We're asking it to be raised to $50 per years of service. And then that last sentence in that paragraph, we just, instead of calling out specifically cake or mints, we just changed it to light snacks and soft drinks. Any question on that before I move on?
So you have to be eligible to retire under IFRS. So does that include part-time employees, or part-time employees are not part of IFRS, correct?
They are part of IFRS if they work a certain number of hours and earn a certain number of dollars in consecutive quarters. So some part-time employees could be eligible.
So how would the policy, would it be the same for part-time as it is full-time?
If they're eligible to retire under IBERS, yes. I don't know that we've ever paid out this benefit for part-time, but I'd have to check with Jenna. But I would say yes, if they're eligible to retire under IBERS. Yes.
$10 for every year of service and jumping to $50. What was the general discussion around that dollar amount? It just seems pretty significant.
Yeah, well, then the general discussion was that the $10 wasn't very significant to employees upon retirement. So if an employee worked here for 30 years and they got $10 per year, that was $300 that was added to their last paycheck upon retirement. And then taxes is taken out of it as well. So the consensus and discussion was that we didn't feel that $10 was significant enough to thank an employee for their service. So we wanted it raised to $50
Yeah, Lynn Harrington just retired after 40 years and we give her an extra $400.
before taxes.
So that was nothing.
Yeah.
She didn't get anything because of tax.
Yeah.
I can certainly recognize that.
And what would the effective date of this policy be?
The effective date of this policy, well, the board approves it today, and then I think we have to have it, an announcement for 10 days, and then it goes into effect. So 10 days from today. So it's approved today, but it's effective in 10 days.
Explain to me again the distinction between everybody else in the county and secondary roads.
Well, can I ask John to explain that? That was discussed in policy committee, but I'm not an expert on that.
We have a line item for gaming.
So it'd just be the party part of things, like the food and drinks and whatnot.
But I think the question is, why is yours different than all the other departments?
Tina explained to me that it was for employee recognition as well,
Yes.
for your incentive, for your gentlemen that work like over long hours, I guess. And
Yeah, we use it for
she said it was in the contract.
lunches and retirements, everything else, so we just have it boxed into a known amount, so we know what to plan on, or.
John, do you give them a bonus at the end, retirement bonus?
No, just through the county policy. No, we don't do any of that specifically, just us.
So does the county recognize them?
Oh, yes,
Okay,
this is
all
for
right.
every employee. And so
make sure.
I think what they're talking about is, so for example, when we have a blizzard and they're plowing for hours on end, they might get a lunch, which we'll get to later in this section. But instead of John and Tina having to write down your budget line, it comes out of their budget line, which they have for their department versus each department won't have their own budget line for this. It's going to come out of the board's gaming budget line, except for roads, as requested by roads.
I get it. They can put some long hours in.
And John, wasn't there a
We
reason
appreciate
though
it.
that it has to do with your rural funds or something? I thought Tina,
What we're doing is we're still spending out of gaming. You just have a set amount for us. So we go with the parameters, I guess, in there, then we spend for that. So it's not out of secondary road fund, it's still out of gaming. I think it's like $1,600 or something like that, set aside.
any other questions on the retirement before I move on to the next section?
Nope.
Okay. Funeral memorials, it still was written before that it's only for a current employee. But what we changed was that we changed it from flowers to a memorial. Not every person asks for flowers when they pass. Sometimes memorials are more appropriate. The memorial could still be flowers. It depends on the individual and what the family is requesting. But that this will be provided by the Board of Supervisors and organized by the board's executive assistant. This helps, number one, to ensure that the board is aware if a current employee does pass. There has been a time in the past where I don't know that the board was aware and the department just handled it themselves. This will be more consistent coming through your office and Jeanette will handle it. Of course, the department is welcome to do their own thing, but it would be more like a pass the hat amongst the employees to do something additional.
We need to include a dollar amount in this.
We
paragraph.
talked about that a little bit during the policy committee meeting, and it was, the amounts can really vary so much. Even if it was just flowers, it can vary so much. So we decided not to put an amount on it.
I think that was the point, pushing it through the board's budget, through, executive assistant. That way you would see the dollar amount, and nothing would be outrageous for anything.
And if you have
As a
one
board.
person that manages it, then she can make sure it's even and equal. If it should
Plus
happen.
flowers have about tripled in the last
Yeah.
few years.
Yep.
So,
Well, I would want to maintain consistency that if we gave $100 to the Midlands Humane Society for some employee that's been here for 20 years, that we do the same thing for an employee that's been here for 40 years.
Do you want a dollar amount on here?
I think I mean, to say it's gonna be a perfect $100 for a bouquet of flowers, I don't think you're ever gonna get to that. I mean, 100 dash to 150 or something, I don't know what that number would be, we didn't discuss it at, policy committee, but I suppose some sort of range would be, I don't know how you're gonna be exact with everybody,
Yeah.
you know, different.
The good thing is,
Different memorials, they're
Yeah.
gonna, you know, I can buy you a plant for maybe a nice, really nice plant for maybe $75. So they don't know it wasn't $100. I bought it on sale, you know?
That's
But-
sort of the point of the executives chart of it's. She can keep consistent across the board.
Okay, so if Janelle will put some procedures in place behind this policy that will maintain the consistency.
That way, when flowers go up again in 2 years, you can adjust.
good point, yeah.
Well, after January, it's quite possible things could come down.
Those were the,
that's funny. That's a funny statement.
those were the only changes to the policy.
Miscellaneous expenditures are all the same.
Yeah, yeah, we maybe took out one word. There was something that was talking about, do you have the old one in front of you? It referenced a very specific event, which we took out because when you,
The Hawk Watch.
the Hawk Watch, that's what it was. We took that out. That was just an example and we made it, just more generic. County-sponsored public events.
We also updated a few of the words to make them a little bit more, I guess, make the verbiage a little more current. There were some kind of outdated terms in there.
On 1 through 6?
I don't remember exactly where they were. I just remember in the whole policy, we kind of. updated
Yeah.
a few terms here.
I think that's where it was like light snacks, soft
Yeah.
drinks, that kind of thing, instead of specifically spelling out exactly what they can have.
Well, there you go.
It's true. It's true.
So this is a Board of Supervisors policy.
Yeah.
Where will it live?
Well, for right now, I'm gonna bounce that question back to the Board of Supervisors because the policy committee would like to create one spot for these other policies that don't go in the employee handbook, but it's not created yet. So I would ask the Board of Supervisors, where would you like this for right now?
Policy handbook.
It's not an employee, this doesn't go in the employee handbook. This is a Board of Supervisors policy, and so this one is not, this doesn't go in the employee handbook.
So right now, it just lives in the minutes. Agenda.
Does that could go in the appendix of the, oh,
No,
what other kind,
and
of book we got?
we've had this since 2014, and it's never been in the employee handbook. And so this has been one of those policies where I think a lot of people maybe have reached out to the auditor's office to say, oh, can you send me a copy? Or the auditor might ask, and then Thea would reach back out to the department, and we'd really have to look for it. So I agree. It needs to be someplace where departments can find it easily, but right now, I don't know exactly where that exists.
I think the policy committee is working on creating that book and that location for all the board or very specific department policy all to live in one place so we can reference it just a lot easier. So that's in the works. We've talked about that quite a few times in the last few committee meetings that we've had. So
Well, it's gonna need that, maybe talk to Dave and Buyer and need to make a spot on the board's
Yep.
website where they can find
He's in on those conversations as well.
their policies, whatever.
I mean, we'll continue to work on that in
It
policy
should
committee.
live in here, I guess, with Jeanette.
Yeah. I don't know if Mitch said it. So for right now, it will live in the minutes until the policy committee determines where that's going to be. We work with David to create that on the new website, and then they'll all be in there.
It's a pretty high priority, like I said, it's been
Yeah.
in every conversation that we've had as we brought some of these policies forward and trying to update them.
Jenna, can you tell me what wellness incentives, what's an example of wellness incentives?
Sure. So wellness incentives include the $15 off your insurance, your health insurance premium each paycheck. As well as if we have, let's say, the weight loss challenge and someone might receive a $25 gift card.
Thank you for the explanation.
Are they required to work on the day of their funeral?
Again, I will bounce that back to the Board of Supervisors to answer.
I think we give them the day off.
Okay, that sounds good.
Right, looking for a motion.
So move.
I'll say those.
Motion by Shay, a second by Jorgensen to approve the updated employee recognition miscellaneous expenditures policy. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion has carried. Thank you, and thank you to the policy committee for bringing that one forward.
Thanks, Becky. Thanks, Jan.
Next, updating the board members on committee meetings from the past week. And I know we've had a busy week with the assessors conference board, the department head retreat, the Council Bluffs Chamber State of the County, that was yesterday. And then I also attended a Thriving Families conference call. Brian?
Worked on the trails last week. Drove out there to the Stony Brook addition, looked at that road. Conservation Board out of Botany Bend. Then Iowa West had an Imagine Hour out at the Lead Multi-Purpose Complex at ISD. And then went to some other meetings, but we did the retreat. We all did the retreat. And then some of us done the road safety course out of the Roads Operations Center also. Then I went to that Southern Border event on Saturday. Learned a lot there, so. And yesterday we all done the state of the county down at the country club, so.
The one thing I will mention, I was at the Council Bluffs Airport Authority's organizational meeting last week. And I've always said this, I'll say it again, I'm very impressed with our airport committee. They're doing a fantastic job out there. They're looking to make Council Bluffs Airport a regional airport, the best regional airport. They're working very hard on it, and they're succeeding, very much succeeding in that effort. So hats off to the Council Bluffs Airport Authority for all they're doing for our community. So I'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Jeff. Tim? Scott?
Well, you guys named a bunch of them already. We did the retreat and the road safety. I got just part of that. I got the documents, so. Thriving Family Alliance, CB Chamber, Policy Committee. I like Brian, we're out to Stony Creek and what's the other one called? Stone something. And then the assessors
Oh,
meeting.
McPherson, I don't remember.
Yeah, Wayne Peterson.
Yeah.
think that's it. I didn't go to the border meeting. I thought our borders were pretty good here in my.
River Delta. All right, now we are ready for the public comment section. We have some individuals who signed up for public comments.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to read my statement here. Now begins our public comment portion of the agenda. In an effort to protect the privacy of individuals and reduce the potential broadcasting of defamatory and/or confidential information, our live broadcast will now end. Information